Paige looks so thrilled.
You blew them away. The people sitting around me were in awe when you did your handstand twist. But why all the drama with the hip? If you are seriously injured, you don't need to go to your mother and get everybody worked up. You come to me, and that needs to be clear. Yes?
The drama with the hip. She was injured. They went to a chiropractor.
She should come to me. If she didn't complain about it and we didn't put ice and stuff on it, she probably wouldn't have been able to perform the dance.
Correct, Kelly.
This week's competition is on stage New York, right here in our hometown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I have been to On Stage New York several times.
Others will be here. All of my enemies will be here.
All of my enemies will be here.
There's somebody new on top. Yes, Brooke, you are here because of your performance. You worked through an injury. You did what you had to do. You were a team player.
It feels good to be on top of the pyramid, but I don't really care. Like, it doesn't matter to me whether I'm on the bottom or the top.
You are getting a solo
She
this
cares.
weekend. And you know what? Since we're in Pittsburgh this weekend, I'm going to give every single one of you a solo.
I wasn't clapping because I knew that we were going to have to do the dance. She has not mastered that solo yet. And I know that Vivi is very uncomfortable with new choreography.
Moms, it's going to
Well, it's not new now. She learned it last week.
Ladies, let's go. Competing locally in Pittsburgh is always important. It's a big deal because my name and my reputation are on the line. Maddie is doing 2 solos. One to the music Cry, which she competed several weeks ago, and the other is a new top routine.
I love having a solo, and I think I do the best when I'm dancing alone.
That felt very coached. And she did mention in an interview that she was kind of told what to say a lot.
Kick it up. Get it up. I am not happy with Vivi doing this bumblebee dance this week. So being a dance teacher, I just kind of took it upon myself to say, hey, let's get together in a little room and let's rehearse the dance. But she doesn't want to jump onto a new dance.
It's not new. She learned it last week. Poor Vivi. She's the definition of a kid that does not want to be at dance.
Or turn on in the pause side. Easy. Do that again. Stand up.
This is my first time doing a solo, and I'm really scared because I'm going to be out on stage all by myself.
She's just so
Up on stage.
gorgeous. And like her as an adult, if you're watching this, you've probably seen what she looks like now, but like the girl should model. If she doesn't, she might.
Hands is a place that we can go and just kind of get out of that dance jail. This time we invited Kathy to come along because she's new to the group and we wanted to feel like, we were including her in things.
They're going to call her out for leaving early.
That wasn't fair.
Well, you know what? This is how I feel about that, ladies. We're in this for a different reason, and we don't need to have a cheering section. And we probably will be at the competitions. I'm sorry.
That's upsetting for us because I think we all care about the kids and those dancers.
And and you don't want us to be cheerleaders, that's fine, but I like supporting the other kids.
When you say, I like that, that's your like. It's not my like. I don't want to be a part of the team. I don't want to have to be a cheerleader. When Vivi's done dancing, I want to go home and go about my business. I'm looking at the clock.
It's crazy to me that she's a dance studio owner and that's how she feels, that she doesn't want to be there to support the team. That's literally what your job is.
But I don't want to be your cheerleaders.
She so blatantly just says what she thinks.
Brooke is sticking to her forte. She will be doing a contortion acrobatic routine.
On her turn there, I'm going to go back a little bit. Or her Shanae into the leap, she had her foot
Contortion acrobatic.
flexed going in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, look, her foot is flexed. She needs to lead. Now it's going to spin.
Brooke is sticking
She needs to lead with her toe. She's leading with her heel. Yeah, no.
straight knee front. Breathe.
And even standing up, she was kind of going heel first instead of her toe, which doesn't look pretty.
Nia, what's going on with her legs? Oh yes, I'm brutally honest. I have to be.
Just whips out a bat.
That final product on stage was all hours of training.
What dance teacher keeps a bat in their dance studio?
I don't know
Oof.
if you're leaning in your heels, but go ahead.
Yeah, that was a very like heavy landing on her leap. She needs to really work through her plie to get up and lift her back leg rather than her front one. She's so cute.
Move to the back. Come on, good. People think I'm tough. They think I'm mean, but I worry about these kids like they're...
She actually has very solid technique for her age. Like her legs are really straight and her feet are pointed. Aw, Kenzie.
What? You forgot? But you have to keep going. You can't just quit dancing.
She makes the same faces as my daughter, who's 6. She just gets this pout, and when she's done, she's done.
I want to go on Broadway. All I want to do is just stay home and eat chips.
The best. I use that meme so often. Relatable, girl, relatable.
You know, I appreciate all of the camaraderie and everything, but I'm going to tell you point blank. I think the difference is, and this is probably going to offend you, Christy, but I think the difference is that I am Abby's colleague, no matter how you slice and dice it. I'm her colleague.
Christy hates her.
Abby's making a ton of money off of me, ladies.
She's making a ton of money off all
Well,
of us.
she's probably making a lot more off of me because I'm probably getting charged double.
I think Kathy...
No, you're not. What is she talking about? She's just charging you double? No, she's not. That's ridiculous.
We are not in it for all of that cheerleading.
Well,
I love your necklace.
these people are like, is she a sociopath?
I have a new solo this week, and it's called Mother.
Oh. It is definitely hard to aerial in jazz shoes.
Is probably Maddie because she's a very good dancer. People have told me that I'm a good dancer.
She's just so sweet. Protect Chloe at all costs.
lesson intact all year from September to June, once a week. And there's where she learns her tap routine. Then her other solo is just like all the other kids.
No one has a chance in hell of winning against Maddie. She's doing 2 solos. She has double the chance of winning against anyone else.
I can't even get rehearsal time for one. You know, I haven't even heard my kids' music yet. How do you practice your dance without music? Well, Melissa's in charge of music. Isn't that ironic? Yeah.
I mean, there are perks to working at the studio. You
I wasn't on the...
can meddle your hands and things, you know?
Vivi, I need you for rehearsal. Let's go, sweetheart. I went into the den to see who was next for rehearsal, and there was Vivian. No mom.
She's gonna sneak her into the bee costume.
This week, I made sure I pulled that kid out of the dressing room. I put that bumblebee costume on her. I had her run that routine over and over and over so that that mother could not change it. Oh, I bet you beautifully.
I don't like makeup and costumes.
Chassé saute. Point those feet.
What do we have on?
Point.
Kathy just walks into the room.
Vivi have to do this bumblebee dance. I will certainly reimburse her for her time, and we may not even be at the competition.
Do you want to...
Kathy just wants to play by her own rules and not follow anything.
doesn't have anything than you. Kathy underestimates Vivian, and that's why she's bringing her to me, and that's my job, and that's what
She's sitting there with her bat, like prepared to beat this like 6-year-old or 7-year-old or whatever she is.
Kathy really wants nothing to do with the ALDC team. She really doesn't. I need you to be a role model. You're a dance teacher. You know how important it is to get these mothers to
Abby,
do.
I cannot ride a bus if this is where this is going.
I'm surprised they're taking a bus to where they're going, which is a local high school that's maybe 20 minutes from their studio.
Not being in control. I'm being told what I have to do, where I have to go, and this is just not sitting well with me.
But we want to arrive together as a team.
Why do we have to
wanna-
do that? Are we part of the Olympics?
Kathy, why are you here? You're here to be...
Good question, Abby. Good question. I can't remember if
Yes, I thought it.
Abby normally arrived on buses or if her girls arrived individually. That's not something I recall ever seeing them like arriving as a big team, but maybe. Or maybe it was a show thing.
You guys can start eating. I know everybody's starving. Yeah. I decided to have all the moms over for lunch because I thought that it was important that
That looks good.
we come together and talk about Kathy and sort of what her intentions were at our studio. All right, girls. Now I asked you to come over here.
Oh,
I think
I want one of those.
she needs to stay and support my kid. It's 9 o'clock at night.
All the kids. If we have to abide by Abby's rules, everyone has to abide by Abby's rules.
Because if you start making exceptions to the rules, then why have rules?
Exactly.
Melissa's just sitting there stewing and like calculating what she's gonna say. Doesn't want to talk about her. Look at her.
About that. I have to talk to Abby about that.
Christy asked me to pull one of Maddie's solos. I thought
She's not going to do that. So normally for most studios, you can have as many solos as you want as long as you're willing to pay for the private slot, pay for the entry fee, pay for the costumes. But some studios do have a limit on the number you can compete. And obviously for this show, they all can't have 3 solos that they're going to air on TV. So they had to limit it. I can't remember if Abby is one of the teachers who limits how many solos her kids can have. I want to say no. Basically, if you can pay for it, you can have it. But like I said, for this show, they had to limit the number of solos. And obviously they're using this as a plot device that she has 2 solos. But if you're willing to pay for them, in most cases at most dance schools, you can have 2 solos if you want.
I could have had Chloe compete. I didn't. Because Paige and Mia deserved a chance to shine.
Well, that was kind of condescending, though. It's like, oh, they couldn't win without my daughter not competing.
You would be upset if Chloe were doing 2 solos and Maddie only had a chance to do 1.
I would not. If another mom...
That's a lie.
Becoming very cutthroat, and I don't think it needs to be that way.
I don't want to discuss it.
Melissa loves to just like shut down at any sign of confrontation.
We've only got 1 day left to get all these numbers together for on stage. The girls are ready. I have complete faith in them. I would never send them out on stage if they weren't ready.
It was the night before the competition, and Paige still hadn't heard her music.
Yeah, that would be really rough, especially for that age, whenever they're trying to learn a dance without music. Like, that's pretty crazy.
They want that kid to practice on their solos that they're going to get on stage and do for 2 minutes and 30 seconds instead of learning how to dance. Then they could learn a combination like that and get on stage and perform it.
So obviously she's not going to perform.
She definitely has a point.
When she's the youngest.
Although they want to rehearse for this competition, you have to not just focus on competition if you want to be a good dancer. Getting to class, doing the technical work is honestly more important.
This is ridiculous. I'm going down and getting Paige and telling her to run her solo with Noah. I mean, otherwise
Good, and
might
then
as well
pull
go
Brooke
home.
in after, and then put me in, and then I'll bring up the rear.
I like that. Melissa, can I have Paige's music?
It's downloading. It's been downloading for 14 minutes.
The days when you had to burn music onto a CD for competitions. Most people just use their phones now at competitions.
I'm still waiting for Paige's music. You guys don't realize what I do for your kids. I mean, I work, you know.
You're getting paid though, Melissa. That's your job.
Melissa has a tendency to deflect. Melissa always has something else that she's willing to talk about that's not the topic that you want to talk about.
The point is we need our kids out of that room and in be running their dances.
Please. I just feel that the mom
Why does she think Melissa is going to be able to
is a great
do that? Is she going to like go in and
they don't realize
tell Abby, hey, I need the girls out here? Like,
the studio things wouldn't get done. It's just how they are. They're just little bitches.
Ooh.
CDs are ready. I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of them saying, oh, it's all about Maddie, it's all about Maddie. Maddie's in class. They all want to learn their solos. No. I work my ass off for these mothers, and all they do is bitching. This is it for me. I'm sick of them.
this is it for me. What are you going to do?
Come on, girls, let's go.
Got a smaller bus this time.
And now going to a local competition called Onstage New York. Where's Ken? Hi, Brookie. These are important because the more of these local competition, Abby's kids win.
Oh, is it the same one?
Because she might get more kids from this.
Come on, guys.
No, they usually take like a coach bus, right?
The mothers want me to be part of the team.
That's the same exact footage from the last episode. She's in the same outfit. It was the same angle. So they reused it rather than like filming her again in the car. Through the tunnel. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Cornell High School, which is where they are right now, is like the competition venue, or it was in Pittsburgh. If you're going to a dance competition in Pittsburgh, it was like our home away from home growing up. This school, I knew it inside and out. I knew all the secret hallways. So it's funny to see it on TV. And I always wondered, because I felt like we just like trashed that school every weekend we were there. And I always wondered if the students who went there knew what went on over the weekends, that there were always dance competitions at their school. So if you happen to go to Cornell High School, please let me know. Comment below. Let me know if you knew about all of these. I'm sure that you guys found lots of like rogue bobby pins, eyelashes, hair nets. I'm sure the floor had like a weird stickiness from lots of hairspray. Those poor janitors. I wonder if my dance school was at this one. No, but my old one was. That costume was very familiar.
Abby only cares if Maddie does well, because if Maddie wins the overalls, Abby looks good.
I don't see why.
Those blue and yellow seats are so nostalgic for me. And I said it in the last couple, but Maddie's tap teacher who choreographed this was also my teacher whenever I was younger, probably age like 9 to 11-ish.
I was very impressed with Maddie. Her taps were clear as a bell. Beautiful performance.
I love watching the tap category whenever you have people that have super precise tap sounds. It's just so satisfying. And tap was not my strength. Oh my goodness. Look at her. She's a little mouse.
I have a really long tail and it gets in the way sometimes when I do.
Oh my God. She's so freaking cute. I always laugh whenever little girls have like tails as part of their costumes because they just very often become problems. My sister had a dog costume and she had to like crawl around and wag her butt to who let the dogs out. These hallways.
Everyone was clapping for you.
I know, I heard.
Solo is coming up, and I'm extremely nervous. I want to see her do a good job, and I'm also excited for her because she looks as adorable as a honeybee can possibly look.
I thought she hated that costume. Maybe someone actually helped her with her eyelashes this time because she looks a little bit more put together than she did last week. Oh. Little slip. Kathy looks just disgusted. Oh, she's so critical. Like, how about good job first?
You slipped. Well,
Poor Vivienne. This poor girl.
I'm not pleased with what you did.
I'm not pleased with what you did.
My mom wants me to dance even more than I want to.
You know what? We'll get it, okay? I'll get it.
I love my mom a lot. And
Poor Vivi. Like, maybe some encouragement. And, like, it's one thing to, like, give constructive criticism, but she's so young. Like, that could be something you address later on in the studio. You don't need to do it right when she's gotten off stage. Like, give her a hug. Give that little girl a hug. That's pretty. I like her costume. Is she like Tinkerbell? Oh, that was cool. That was pretty. Yeah, just gotta squeeze her legs together the whole time. That's hard.
when I do the chin stand, there was a line of tape on the stage
Oh.
where I was supposed to turn, and my
I have...
got stuck on the tape, and it like gave me a big brush burn.
Oh, girly. One time on stage, they had the tape. I was doing like a slide backward. My toenail got caught under the tape and ripped off in the middle of a dance. And there's nothing you can really do about it because you're in the moment you're dancing. You can't pay attention to where these like little lines on the floor are. But if you get one when you're turning, that's horrible because it's not as smooth as the other parts of the stage. So you're like fighting to get around your rotations, and then there's things like this that happen. You get brush burns, you lose a toenail. Poor girl. Yeah, the biggest thing for me with Brooke is her port-de-bras, her arms. She doesn't often she needs to be looser up here. She's too restricted. And then also, like I pointed out earlier in class, she still has the problem of leading with her heel instead of her toe on a lot of skills.
And I am not feeling great about this performance at all. And I worry she's going to freeze on stage.
No, Nia's got it. She's good. Ooh, point your feet, Nia. I'm not a fan of this costume. I don't like the orange underneath. It's just like too loose on her. So it just looks sloppy. And then the skirt over top of the orange looks really weird to me. I would rather it didn't have the pants and then like the middle part was either sheer or just like a continuation of that gold.
That part of my solo on stage, so I kind of made up the rest of it.
That's okay, girl. You kept going. Oh, shoot. This is
I'm really nervous because
when she forgets. I remember.
and it makes me forget it more
Oh, poor Paige.
really get rushed up.
That bow on her head is just truly ridiculous.
That makes me nervous for her.
Oh. It's like the scariest thing in the world when you're watching. I was going to say as a parent, but like I really was referring to my sister, who I felt like a parent to sometimes. Oh no, poor Paige. Keep going, girl. Come on, you can do it. Oh, honey. That's like the most...
The headlights. That hasn't happened to me in 25 years. I was sick to my stomach. It's humiliating.
And then she's just standing there. Oh, honey. That's just like the absolute worst, most gut-wrenching feeling whenever you're in the middle of doing your solo and then all of a sudden your choreography just escapes your mind and you're just like, what's next? And so you like, what you're taught to do is to improv. You just keep dancing. Even if it's not what you were supposed to do, it's better to keep moving. And then you just kind of hope that the judges didn't notice and that you're still able to do some of the skills that you had in the later part of your solo. And maybe it will come back to you. But in my experience, whenever you forget, your mind just goes blank. There's very little chance of you recovering and remembering what comes next unless you have some kind of like landmark skill in the music that makes you remember it. But either way, I feel so badly for her. You know, it's really not your fault. You can't help when your brain just kind of skips out. But obviously, Abby probably would have preferred her to continue dancing and kind of make something up as she went. Although she would have been mad about that too, but not nearly as upset about her just kind of standing there on the stage.
Nice round of applause.
And then if you have to come back out later to finish your solo, that's just like...
You should remain on stage and continue dancing.
That's right. Oh, poor Paige.
It was humiliating for me as a teacher, number one. And number two, she should be humiliated.
She is clearly humiliated. Like, you don't need to shove it down her throat.
You look beautiful for what you did too. Yes, you did.
I even think my tongue.
You were perfect. Don't worry about it, Paige. It's a dance.
See, this is what a good mom does to support their child, not berate them after their dance like Kathy.
Right? Don't you agree with me about your music?
It's dance at the end of the day. It's not the end of the world.
Don't cry, Paige.
Oh, honey. Does she recompete it? I can't remember.
Stop putting pins in it. It looks ridiculous. There's 50 body pins in it. Let me see.
You always knew Abby girls at competitions because they all had French twists in. So you always knew whenever an Abby girl was coming on stage because of the signature French twist.
She wants everything to be perfect all the time, the kid. I can't stand it. I gotta just stay away from her right now.
Called older child syndrome.
There's a little bit more pressure on me because I want to win
She's got some lipstick on her teeth.
even more.
Okay. Maddie's on in 3. Kens, come on. We gotta go see your sister.
Oh, Vivi's still there.
With the BS. Melissa needs to pull Maddie's second solo. It's not fair.
Yeah, while she's already dressed and practicing. Yeah, okay, you're going to chase her down when she's about to go on stage and tell her, oh, you can't have your daughter go on. Yeah, come on. It was so unrealistic.
There's a lot of pressure on me because I really want to win first.
Next up, please welcome Maddie.
Is this the only time they ever repeated solos? I wonder. I know they did like a few years later, like bringing one back. But I mean, as far as like back-to-back weeks, I think it was 2 weeks ago that she did this one. Her faces aren't as good this time around. She was more into it the last time.
Maddie does 2 solos at every single competition we go to. And she has for the last 2 years.
And then they must have obviously done something else too. Maybe she had a third solo based on her costume she's wearing.
But I just go through the dance really quick and then I just go on stage.
Next up, we have an advanced mini lyrical solo. Please
They keep catching Melissa in these really bad, like derp kind of faces. Like just. I like this costume on her. Pretty Chloe. What was that face for her, Christy. I think she's doing beautifully. Oh, nope. Oh, no. I think that her falling out of that turn made her a little bit more cautious. You could see it in her face. Oh, pull it up, pull it up. Yeah, this is not the best for her. She's trying really hard to be on the music, but she's almost like waiting too long. So she's like, and hold.
About her daughter, no one else. Our kids count too.
Good job, honey.
I really don't care.
That was very condescending. Good job, honey. Like, that was rude.
My daughter to win. My daughter wins on her own.
Okay. Yeah, my dance school's there. My one I graduated from, I saw the jackets. I didn't see any of their stuff actually on the stage, though, but...
I don't like to lose, but I don't ever lose anyway.
And our first place overall top scoring advanced mini soloist receiving a $75 check, and the trophy is a cry. That's Maddie from Maddie Dance Company.
This is not fair. Chloe was learning a dance 12 hours ago in a studio, and you expect a 9-year-old to go on stage and like be flawless? Our kids were set up to fail.
They never showed Vivi and Mackenzie's awards, did they?
Abby, I think we need to talk.
Maybe they just didn't place at all.
No, we need to talk, Abby, in the hallway now. Are you kidding? I'm a paying client and you won't speak to me.
No, nothing's worth that much money. I think the worst thing that Christy can do.
I do agree that it's a conversation for back at the dance school, not here, but TV, right?
Let's go in the hallway. I'm not going anywhere. My daughter's happy. Let's go in the hallway. Do you want to talk about all the things that need to be talked about?
Not here, not
Because
now. This is
you
the
won't
weekend.
talk about it, and you won't.
You are not paying for my time.
Abby, I'm not talking about it. Making my daughter cry, so shut it.
Talk about what?
Yeah, how many times has my daughter beat your daughter this year? Bitch, let's go.
This is too much to do in front of kids, though.
I will take it away in a minute.
Go ahead and take it away, Abby. I'll leave your studio.
That's fine. Where are you gonna go?
I would say the fight between Abby and Chrissy was incredibly embarrassing. That could have been handled behind closed doors, definitely not in front of children.
Yes, definitely. That's just like scarring to kids. Like the kids aren't faking that emotion. They're crying for real. That's why I'm crying right now.
Girls, they are staying with me.
It's so toxic to kids.
I'm overstaying in your studio.
There you go.
Then I need to leave.
You're not.
But she won't for a while.
How did I get stuck in this?
Kathy. Yeah, that ending really got to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I think just seeing kids be put into this situation whenever they didn't ask for it, I just feel like there's a lot of ramifications for those kids growing up. And I dealt with it a lot too as a child. A lot of parents being more competitive than their own children and just wanting it more than their kids. So then they kind of push that onto their kids. But that was like pretty rough watching Mackenzie and Maddie crying, especially after she just won. And the thing is, like, I agree with Christy's points that if she didn't have any rehearsal time, then it's not really fair that she should be expected to go out and perform as well as Maddie, who is doing a solo she already knew, 1, and 2, has a standing private and lots of practice time. But also the things that Chloe did poorly in her solo, from what I could see, were technical things. So maybe that was because she didn't feel confident in the solo, and therefore she wasn't in the mindset to perform these tricks that I'm sure she's done hundreds of times. But yeah, that was a little sad at the end. If you like this, make sure you comment below, like, and subscribe. I also have the full version of this video over on Patreon, and I'm planning to release some additional content over there if you'd like to see it. Dance Moms content, but also anything else you guys want to see. I also recently reacted to an individual dance I did, Where Have All the Children Gone? I think I'm planning to react to The Last Text next, and then if there's any other individual dances you want me to react to, they don't have to be in any kind of order, just any season dances, please let me know and I will add those to my list. As always, thanks for watching and keep dancing.